Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RAMP, Real Access Motivates Progress, live Wednesday night podcast. I am so excited to be back with you this week. We thank Diana for filling in for me last week, but we are back, and as always, we have a great show for you, and I have a wonderful guest who's not only a colleague who's running his own business, but he's also a friend, and I got to go out and visit him and his lovely wife out in Florida, which I plan on going back out and visiting them real soon. So without further ado, welcome Shane. Shane, welcome to the show.
Tina, thank you for having me so much. I appreciate it. We had such a great time in Florida. I'm glad that we can connect again and dig out that conversation.
Yeah, so Shane owns Roll Strong, and he's going to tell us all about what Roll Strong is all about tonight. But let's get started, Shane, and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
For sure. So my name is Shane. I've been in a wheelchair for 11 years. I have a T12 incomplete spinal cord injury. Was injured in a car accident. About 2 years ago, I decided to start my own durable medical equipment company. So focusing on urological supplies. But Roll Strong is so much more than that. My mission is not only to provide the highest quality medical supplies delivered right to your door, but also take it a step further. There's so many things in our lives as wheelchair users that we go through on a daily basis. And for me, it's really helping to connect the dots. There's a huge gap in service just from a medical supply standpoint. And I really wanted to fill that gap and just help people in general. That's my passion. So I figured I could start with medical supplies and try to connect the dots from there. So I started the company about 2 years ago. I'm based in Florida. So if you are a Floridian or anyone really in the nation, because I do have Medicare, I would love the opportunity to work with you guys. You hear a lot of stories about medical suppliers, people not getting their orders, things missing. So for me, I just really wanted to fill that gap and build a community for people with disabilities that stretches far beyond just the medical supplies. Because at the end of the day, we all go through things, and it's really a day to day drive for us, right? One day could be great, one day could be bad, but it's waking up every day and having just that desire to literally roll strong every day, right? Things happen, and it's having that passion to better yourself every single day, be grateful for what you have versus what you don't have, and just work on getting better every day. And that's really what Roll Strong is about.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you, and I love your passion, and I love what you do. You wouldn't be on my show if I didn't. You're just you're like the male version of me. Like, we just empower everybody every day. We just want to make the lives of people like us who ended up in this community by accident or what have you. We just want to make their lives better. But let's talk about the medical supply issue. It's such a huge issue. Like, people don't realize what we go through on a daily basis. I mean, just to get my wheelchair fixed, it's a grace of God. I mean, it could be weeks. I mean, they tell me that I can't come out and service my wheelchair for 2 weeks. That means I can't move around. That means I can't get to the bathroom. That means I can't do anything because my wheelchair is my legs. So talk about the medical supply and what you do and why it's so important for you to fill in that gap.
For sure. So I kind of have a motto: living life should be your top priority. Catheters and medical supplies should be your least concern. We go through these things every single day, and in order to live the best life you can, these are things that we have to have medically. So it is a problem. And, I talk to people all the time who, not only if you don't have insurance, you have to literally pay to pee. And it's like, and the quality of life that we have, especially being so blessed to live in America and the United States, it's something that there's a gap that needs to be filled. And so for me, it's just being able to fill that gap, right? So being able to place people's orders on time. I reach out to them every single month. So I think the great thing about what I do is I use these products every day. I'm not some guy in a suit. I'm not some big conglomerate company. I understand what each individual is going through, right? Because I've used these products for the past 11 years. I've had UTIs. I've been in the hospital. I know how the system works. And so for me, it's I want to not only advocate for these people and fight for them and just get them what they need and feel and make them feel that, getting medical supplies is a breeze. I can now focus on the more important things about actually living life, finding things that I enjoy. just loving life and getting back to, some of the things that you used to do.
I mean, it's so true. I
Fired
mean,
up and passionate,
yeah.
passionate about it. You can hear it.
No, I love it. It's like a walking person who loves to run. It's having that sturdy pair of shoes. It's always knowing where your shoes are. Well, that's what catheters are for a lot of SEI people, because there's so many of us that have to cath. There's so many of us that needs this, like, to just function every day. And it's like I said, it's like a normal person having that great pair of shoes at hand at all times by them. The difference is, if they don't have them, they can just go run to the store and buy a new pair. We can't do that same thing. So what you do is truly, I love the way you say it, you pay to pee. How horrible is that?
Yeah, and I think it's so unique, right? Because just like the pair of shoes, everybody has their own unique style, right? So what might work for you might not work for somebody else. And so it's really finding what works for each unique individual's journey, right? I remember when I left the hospital, you pretty much leave the hospital with the catheter that they provide you. You don't really get an opportunity to see what's out there. I was using these big bags for about 7 to 8 years through my injury, until I discovered that they actually have really small travel size ones. So it's like there's so many different products out there that can make your life a lot easier, and we don't know what we don't know. So it's just understanding each individual, understanding what their lifestyle is, what they're looking for in a catheter, and being able to recommend certain things to, make their life that much easier.
Yeah. Now, when you're talking about something that's so personal, I mean, you don't see a lot of people going around it every day saying, "How do you pee? What do you like better to pee?" Talking about something so personal, how is it to interact with people? Like, how open are they to wanting to have that conversation with you? Or how difficult is it to open them up to have that conversation?
Yeah, so I think because I live it, it's a lot easier for them to open up to me about it, and to understand, hey, what are they using? How has their experience been? And I kind of always ask people, like, all right, what catheter are you using? I say, oh, that's a great catheter. Have you heard of this one? And a lot of people, they don't know what they don't know. So it's just being able to understand. But most people are open to it. Especially being in a wheelchair. I think that's really what unites us. Is again, like, I'm not somebody that's coming out here just trying to sell catheters, and I've never had that experience. So it's understanding that I do, and I use them every day, and it's being able to have that open conversation with people. And I think that's just the great connecting point for building a relationship with anybody.
I think you hit the nail right on the head, because it's the same thing about accessibility with me. It's like, if you want to actually make something accessible for me, ask me. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make something accessible for a wheelchair user, ask a wheelchair user. It just makes common sense. If you want to have something for a runner, ask a runner. It's common sense. You know what I mean? To have that conversation. Now, I know a lot of our viewers are asking, do you just do male catheters, or do you do male and female cath? Is there a big difference between both? And how do you have the conversation with the female?
Yeah. So male, female, pediatric, everything. And the great thing about what I do is I'm not contracted to any one manufacturer. I have every brand, every manufacturer. So, I have a wide variety of whatever you need, I can get it for you. But no, it's really a similar conversation. It is different talking to females, just because, right, I'm not one. So I don't use these products.
I bet
Uh,
your wife is very happy about that.
very, very. But I can relate to them, right? I use these products, even though, the big difference is the females are just a little shorter. So, you still find that common ground. But, I think for females, I have to get feedback from a lot of my female customers about what they like and what they don't like, and really understand them, from a different perspective, so that I could bring that to, other females who are interested
Right.
in other products.
But I think the nice thing is when you're like us, we're kind of like all one person. We,
For
we
sure.
we like to share our stories. We like to talk about what's different, what's good, what's bad. We're open like that. So
For
I
sure.
think this community is probably one of the most open communities to talk about just about anything with anybody. Because I know, like when we went to roll on the Capitol, we were having big powwows talking to pretty much everybody. And when I came down to Florida and I, talked to a whole group of, like, we literally talk about just about anything. So I don't think there's much that's sacred to us that we don't talk about, because it's so interesting that what the general public needs to know is every wheelchair user is different. Even though me and Shane are both paraplegics, where we're, paralyzed from the waist down, we have different abilities. We have different movement. We have different feeling and different things of doing. Everybody is different. So you have to find the right fit. How many different catheters are there? Or is that a crazy question to ask?
Hundreds of, probably thousands at least. And it's interesting because I do actually have a lot of female customers that use male catheters because it's just longer and it's easier for them. So again, it's finding what works for you. But I think with a lot of these customers, everybody has their own unique journey, right? Like I can never relate to what a quadriplegic goes through. But I understand, in the cathing realm, that there are products that quadriplegics can use to help cath themselves. And I know a lot of people use Foley's, super pubics, but there are products out there. If people are interested in, hey, maybe I want to try to cath myself. I don't want to wear a Foley forever. There's options out there. And what I definitely should have done in hindsight was brought some products and showed them to you guys. But if you have any questions, if you want to know about anything, my website is ROLL-strong, STRONG.com. You can message me there. I'm more than happy to send anybody samples. The goal is to just figure out what works best for you. And so I'm here to help. And that's what I want people to know. I tell people all the time, if you want to try something, hit me up. And I don't think a lot of people take enough advantage of that, because I can get a lot of free samples to you and figure out what works best for you.
I mean, that's so cool that you do that, because like you just said, there's thousands of them. How do you narrow down to thousands to what you want or what you're
What
looking
works
for? That's
best.
why you need to talk to an expert like you, who has seen them all, has talked to all of these people, has trial and error them yourself. What would work and what wouldn't work for most people. But I think it's amazing what you do is sending out samples to everybody so they can try it and try it before you buy it, kind of thing. If you got to pay to pee, at least pee the right way. In the end, it makes
For
it
sure.
a lot more comfortable.
For sure. And what's interesting is what I've found is like there's kind of a hit or miss with different wheelchair users. Like I think certain people who get medical supplies, especially catheters, if they have a provider that they're getting their supplies from on a regular basis and everything is good, they have no interest in switching or trying out, somebody who has used these catheters, pretty much their whole injury. And I understand that. I understand that it's hard to, if you're getting something so vital for you and yourself, that people don't want to jump ship and try something new. But I kind of want to assure everybody, like, this is what I'm doing. This is my passion, my mission, and I know the process. So it's very easy for somebody to try my company out, to switch, as long as I have their insurance. It takes a few days to get the medical records, the script, and get everything I need from them, and then 2 days to drop ship a order. So the process is really easy, and I think people are deterred from switching or trying a company out because they're like, man, I've dealt with all these companies before, and I don't want to go through the hassle of switching. The great thing is I do everything for the person. So like, I just get their information, their doctor's information, their insurance information, their address, what they like to use, so I can get a better understanding of what samples to send them to understand their active lifestyle or what have you. And then from there, I handle everything for them. So I really try to make it a white glove experience, if you will, and be able to just check on them monthly, see how they're doing. So that's really what I love about it is, if somebody just gives me the opportunity, they'll see that I'm really here to help, and I really care about, each individual.
And I'll tell you, he's great at what he does. He makes you feel comfortable about what he does, and he knows his stuff. it's definitely worth a shot. I mean, instead of throwing your money stuff away to these big conglomerates, again, you can switch and try whatever you want. You can, you're in trusted hands with Shane, and if I say that, you can trust Shane because I don't back anybody that I don't 1,000% trust. He just makes you feel comfortable, and it's worth giving it a shot. Like I said, check out his website at roll-strong.com.
Yep. And then you can
Check
find
out his
me on
website.
social media.
Any phone number, email you want to give people?
For sure. So my office number is 786-536-7975. You can also reach me at Shane, SHANE, at roll-strong.com. And then anything on my website, you can contact me as well from there. But yeah, I'm on Facebook as well. I'm on some of these big groups out there, just trying to post. I do catheter reviews as well. So even for females, I'll any new product that's out there, I get an update on, and I let you guys know what's out there, so that if people are interested in trying something new, they have the ability to do so.
And if you forget all of that, just message me because he's my friend. So just message me, and I'll ship you over to him to make sure he gets the right thing. But you do so much more than just catheters. Roll Strong is so much more powerful than just catheters. You do like support groups and stuff. Tell us a little bit more of what Roll Strong does.
For sure. So my whole mission is really trying to connect the dots for people, right? So a lot of people in Florida, I've actually had a few customers that are brand new to being injured, maybe a couple years out. Quite a few females as well, and they don't know anybody that's in a wheelchair. So I know most people know how big a support group can be, even if it's so much as playing on a wheelchair basketball team or going to a meeting at a hospital. So my job and what I really love to do as well is connect the dots for those people. So even people who are very, very freshly injured, just connecting them with, say, another female who's been in a chair for 10 years, and has lived that experience, because I think that is one of the biggest things when someone gets injured, is just getting connected back into the community, just connecting the dots for people, for activities, for things to do that are accessible. Really, that's one of my biggest passions, besides providing medical supplies, is there's a great foundation like Shake a Leg, right? It's a foundation that helps people with disabilities get back on the water, whether that's sailing, boating, kayaking. There's so many opportunities out here in South Florida that people don't know about. So it's, especially if they're out here, I always introduce them to Shake a Leg. I introduce them to the beach events that they have out here, and just really trying to help them live life to the fullest. And I think that's what it's all about, is finding ways to do the things that you love, or finding new ways or new things to love. And that's really what's important. We're all in this situation, we're all living with struggles, but that doesn't mean you have to stop living. And that's really what it's about, is just trying to connect the dots. I tell people all the time about the basketball team I play on. If you're in South Florida and you're looking for teams, even quad rugby's out here. They used to have some sled hockey, football. There's so many things to get involved with, even with the support programs. Miami has a great support program out of Jackson, rehab. So there's so many things going on. And even, I've been fortunate enough to connect with a lot of people all around the country. So even if they're not based in Florida, right, there's so many people that I can connect them with in different areas, right? Because I don't have all the answers, and I'll be the first person to tell you that, but I am connected enough to know people who know a lot of things. So, and that's really what it's about, is connecting the dots. I have customers that talk to me about other things. I have one of my male customers, he's pretty newly injured, asked me about sex, right? And it's a great topic for a podcast, right? But all these different things that people experience on a day-to-day basis, and just trying to help them out where I can, right? So just telling them things that are out there. I've had customers who've been in a chair since 2001, and he was getting multiple UTIs, right? And since maybe a year ago, he wasn't using the catheter right this entire time. So it's just having that conversation with him and just digging a little deeper into his life, and what are some problems and challenges that he's facing, and I showed him how to use the catheter the correct way, right? He was taking the tip off the catheter instead of keeping it on there. So just little things that people go through on a day-to-day basis, and how can I help connect the dots a little deeper than just the supplies that I provide.
It's so true. I mean, there's so many of us across the country in wheelchairs that we're stronger together, and we all know somebody, and we all know somebody that's going through something. I connect so many people with you. I know you've connected people with me. I know somebody, I know how to pass the buck. Again, I don't know everything about every disability. I don't know certain things about certain things because I don't use the products. But I know somebody that they can go to because I know somebody who sells it or knows it or gets it or uses it. So no matter where you are across the country, we have a connection for you. We can find somebody to connect you with. So never be ashamed, or if you want to reach out to Shane and it's not about a catheter because you need another question, or you want a male's point of view because you're in a wheelchair, Shane is so easy to talk to. He'd love to have that conversation with you. He'd love to move that conversation along with you, that not asking the question is actually worse than reaching out to somebody, even if it's not their specialty, to let us help you find the answer. Because again, Shane said it, living your life is the most important thing. Everything else is secondary.
Well,
Anything you want to add to that, Shane?
yeah, I was saying the biggest thing is to know that you're not alone, right? Like, we're all going through these things on a daily basis, and what you think no one's going through, trust me, they're going through. And it's just being open to have that conversation, not being scared to ask for help, right? That was one of the biggest things for me, being disabled, that I'm so independent, right? And I've always loved that part about me. Is just I like to do everything myself, and you have to really kind of humble yourself to say, okay, now sometimes I need help, and that's okay. And I think that's a big thing that people should understand, is you're not alone. You can ask for help, and no question is stupid. So
That is so true, because I'll tell you, I am right there with you. I so hate asking for help, but you know what? We're not super people. We have to ask for help at times, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because I'll tell you, I found the best of my friends across the country by asking for help. By asking questions is when I found the most amazing people, and how I got connected to Shane, because I had people, and that's how I ended up getting connected to Shane, is by mistake. And I'm so glad that we did, because I got to meet him and his beautiful wife. And yes, we get to have married, and yes, we get to have full lives and families and everything like that. People don't see that for us, but it is true. It is, it is what we go through. And it's such a fulfilling life. We may do it differently. It may look differently, but we do live the same lives as everybody else. We just do it sitting down instead of standing up. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Correct, Shane?
amen.
Well, tell everybody where they can find you soon, because you got a big event coming up.
I do, yes. So if you are in South Florida, in October, October 13th through the 15th, there's the Abilities Expo in Fort Lauderdale. So I'll be a vendor there. If you want to come by, say hello, get to know Roll Strong a little bit more, get some samples, try some things out. I will be local there. My mission and plan is to hopefully go to a lot of these other expos in these different states, and just get my name out there, let people know what's going on, and really just try to show people what my mission is. I think social media is such a powerful thing, and I'm really starting to learn that and getting more acclimated to posting and doing different videos, right? So what I try to do is just highlight all my customers, and that's a big thing that I like to do that's different. Is everyone has their own unique journey, and it's so amazing to see that what everybody's going through, and the strength that people have, and to show that you're not alone. You're doing all these amazing things, and you can connect with people that are going through something similar, right? Like, I might not have the same experience as a high level injury, right? But I can connect you with people who do, and just to show there's so many possibilities out there. But yes, I will be at the Abilities Expo. I will be at the Miami Marathon. I'm looking to do some more events outside of Florida, so these Abilities Expos, hopefully you can see me there as well. And then who knows, maybe I'll link up with Tina up in Rhode Island, do an
Oh,
event up
no. You will be hooking up with
there. I
Tina down
will.
here in
I
Rhode
will.
Island. Like, that's not
I will.
an if, that's a when.
For
And I'll
sure.
be back down in Florida hooking up with you down there. And again, it's all about connecting. None of our organizations or businesses are going to succeed without each other. As we say here in Rhode Island, everybody knows a guy. It's the same thing in the disability community. We all know people. We all know people who are doing different things, suffering with different things, overcoming different things. So we can make those connections and we can help you. So by working together and sharing ideas and having a group conversation across the board is how we're all going to succeed. None of us are going to do it alone. We need each other. Correct, Shane?
100%. I think I think being disabled, right there, just disability has there's no I would say racism and disability. Everybody is equal in the experiences that we have, right? So and that's one of the amazing things about being disabled. I think that's so different than anything else, is like it doesn't discriminate. We are all in this together, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is I love seeing people in chairs just doing amazing things, and I always try to support that. So yeah, if you guys are
Yeah,
open to
I mean, we're hooked
supporting
together
me,
by
and
Shake a Leg. We're hooked together by the Impossible Dream. We're hooked together by the Woody Foundation. Like the list goes on. Like there's so many different organizations that we're both part of, and we live thousands of miles apart or hundreds of miles apart or however you want to say it. So
yep,
again, across the
yep,
country, Shane can ship across the country. You don't have to live in South Florida to do or get information or catheters from Shane. So make sure you're reaching out. Shane, give them all
yep.
your contact information again.
Yeah. So my phone number 786-536-7975. That's my office phone. If you want to work with me, you have full access to my cell phone, so you can reach out to me at any point in time. Um, I have straight Medicare. If you have that insurance and you don't like your supplier and you want to try something different, I can work with anybody in the nation that has straight Medicare. In Florida, I have Florida Blue. I'm working on getting Aetna, Sunshine Health. I have a few others as well that I'm working on. Florida Medicaid, CMS, so Children's Medical Services. I actually have my youngest customer is 14. He plays wheelchair basketball. His name is Daniel, a great kid. It's just great to be able to have such a wide variety of people that I serve, because again, disability doesn't discriminate and everybody's experiences are different. And it's, how can we connect and just find ways to live life to the fullest. And that's what it's really about. But yeah, please reach out to me. You can email me, Shane@roll-strong.com, Instagram, roll_strong, and Facebook is, I believe, facebook.com/roll strong every day.
And again, if you forget all this, just reach out to me and I will hook you up with all of his contact information. It will be tagged in the comments below, so you can just click it on all of the comments below. But definitely reach out. What are we
Yeah.
missing, Shane? What did
Yeah.
we
Well,
not talk about?
so I would love to learn, and if whoever watches this, if they're using catheters, what do you like about catheters, or the ones that you're using? What do you like about your supplier? What don't you like about your supplier? Feedback is awesome, right? Because I can really relate to what you're going through, because I've experienced it all. I would love to learn what you're using now, if there's something that you're interested in. There's so many great products out there that I would just love to plug you guys into, and give you an opportunity to try, because who knows what you can use can make your life so much easier, and just a better quality of life. So in the comments, if you have people comment, would love to learn that, and just love to give the opportunity, to work with you guys.
That is awesome. And what are we missing? What did we forget? What did we not talk about today?
Yeah. Let's see. So at least in the urological supply industry, UTIs are a big one. So just understanding that, there's nothing that you can do 100% to avoid them, but there are some things that you can do to help. Stay hydrated, cranberry juice, just make sure that you're cathing properly, being clean. There's a lot of different products out there. Foley's, Super Pubics. There's a new double bubble out there. So instead of one balloon, it's two. So a lot more comfortable. That helps prevent UTIs. And again, just the process is super easy, right? So if you want to switch, it does not take a long time. It's very simple too. I get your information, I reach out to your doctors, and I handle everything for you. So it's really a really easy experience, and I advocate for you. You know, it's if your insurance isn't covering something, I'm gonna fight for you to try to get it covered. You know, if you want to try different things out until you find the correct product for you, I will send you whatever you need until you find that. I mean, that's what it's about, and really just taking it a step further to take care of everyone and try to connect the dots and get you plugged into the community. Right? There's so many things out there. When are you coming down to Florida, Tina? How about that?
I know I'm coming back to Florida soon because let me tell you, it's going to get nasty over here down in New England. So I'm coming back down. Maybe I'll stay for the winter. Who knows? We'll see what that looks like. But you are just a plethora of information and you are just a ray of sunshine. I just so love talking to you and being in your presence. Because, like I said, you're the male version of me. You're the
I
most
wish I
positive
had
person
the.
I know.
I wish I had the drive you have.
What was that?
I said I wish I have the drive that you have.
Well, sometimes you just per adrenaline going because I drank too much caffeine, but you know, it's all good. We make it work one way or another. But like I said, reach out to Shane. You will not be disappointed. You will get a lot of your questions answered, and he's just an amazing person and an amazing friend. So that's Roll Strong, roll-strong.com. Make sure you're reaching out. Again, if you forgot all of Shane's contact information and you don't know how to click it in the comments, reach out to me. I will put you in contact. Shane, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are always a pleasure to talk to, and I will be seeing you soon in Florida.
Definitely. And you know, even if I don't have your insurance or anything, if you have questions, like I'm here to help you guys. So it doesn't matter if I can work with you as a customer. I want to work with you as a friend and help in any way I can, because that's what it's about. Tina, thank you so much for having me here. I will say one last thing. I think what makes Roll Strong different, and why people should come and try my company out, is just because I really care, and I want to help people, and I want to make a difference in people's lives. You know, I think a lot of people who leave reviews for me really go from their heart and kind of show what I've done and how I've helped. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about just giving back and helping each individual. But I use these products every day, and I really want the opportunity to show people that I really do care, and I want to help. So give Roll Strong an opportunity if you're open to it. Tina, you're amazing, and thank you so much for what you do for our community, because you really stick up for us. You know, it's like
Well,
it's
Shane,
like
you're
that. It's
making it.
like that.
Now it's Shane. You're making a difference every day, and you know you're providing important information that we need, and you're providing important products that we need so much. So, like I said, I cannot talk about you more because I just adore you. But we will be in contact soon, and this is not the last you will see of Shane on my show. He will be back again soon, but for now, thank you so much for taking the time, Shane, and I look forward to connecting real soon.
Tina, thank you so much. I've had such a great time, and I will be back on the podcast.
Perfect. And I want to say thank you to everybody for watching tonight. And just a quick update. This will be the last podcast for the month of October. I am taking October off. I have a lot of things going on in my personal life, my professional life. Life is getting in the way right now. So we're taking a month off to regroup and refigure it out. We're not going away. We will be back. So stay with us, stay tuned, stay part of our email address, watch our Facebook. And like I said, we're not going away. We're just taking a quick snooze, and we will be back in November. So we'll see you all soon. And as I always say, don't just sit there, make a difference.